Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We have a brand new throwback review for you today, and today we're going to be talking about
Kena Bridge of Spirits.
That's right. Yeah, just a quick heads up, there will be spoilers in this video. Everything you're watching was filmed on PlayStation 5. And yeah, on top of that, if you do like the video here today, please don't forget to like. We really want that YouTube algorithm to pick up a little bit more so we have more visibility, and subscribe to the channel.
And a little bell.
Yeah, and a little bell. We have new videos every week, both about gaming and South Korea. So yeah, we want you to come along for the journey.
Yes, because I'm still very excited for our PS5.
Yeah. You know, last week, or actually a couple of weeks ago, we shared with you, Final Fantasy VII Intermission DLC for Yuffie. And I wouldn't call that a full game, but that was kind of the first thing we showed you from PS5. But this week, we are talking about a full game, and yeah, this was the first full game we played on PS5.
Yes.
And I will tell you, it's beautiful. You know, I was really surprised by this. I kind of knew I wanted to wait. This is also on PlayStation 4. We bought the digital version on PS5, so we did get a PS4 version that's included digitally. But I will say, I waited specifically to buy this so I could see it on PS5 because it looks like an animated movie.
Very, very good graphic.
Yeah, you know, the lighting really blew me away a few times while I was playing. You know, there's this scene where you're in this forest and there's all this like outstanding like ray traced lighting coming through these trees, and just a bunch of different effects happening. Really fills up the screen, and yeah, you can tell that this was made by an animation studio, which Ember Lab, the developer of this game, I heard it was their first game, but they've done animation before. And I can really see that they worked with like film animation or short film animation beforehand, because it looks like an animated movie.
Yes, very. From the beginning. I'm surprised. I know the graphic is gonna be much better than PS4 and PS4 Pro, but the one thing really surprised me from the light of the graphic is even through during the night in the game,
right? You
can still see the moonlight. And if it's raining day, the storm, you know, the lightning, it was so good.
The mist, the fog effects, you know, I don't want to say it looks real because it's supposed to be kind of an animated look to it, but it looks better than anything I've played, definitely. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Intermission DLC, yeah, it's probably close, but it's a different art style. But it just really blew me away.
It is. And how about the game?
Yeah, so the gameplay, I'll say, I can tell this is their first game. It's very like Zelda-like. You have this kind of open world, but there's a hub area that splits off into different parts of the world for you to kind of explore. And I will say it's very fun, but I do feel it's a little limited. I feel like they maybe could have added more. I don't know if this was because it was their first game, but you only have a few options for weapons. You have a bow and arrow,
wand,
and yeah, like kind of a magic wand that you can also use as a melee stick. But the bow and arrow is also that wand, so that wand is your only weapon.
Yes, it's from her father.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of interesting for gameplay that they chose to go with just one weapon that kind of morphs into multiple weapons. And there are special attacks and things of that nature, but I felt like overall the gameplay was pretty simple. The last thing you unlock later in the game is this kind of bomb mechanism that you can throw, and kind of slows down time for
and
rocks.
your little friends, you can use your little friends.
Yeah, you have all these cute little adorable creatures that you're collecting, like Pokemon, throughout the game, and they're called Rot. But I will say, they fight with you, they follow you around, they swim with you when you're swimming. It's very adorable. And overall, it's just, there's a lot of depth in the simple mechanics that the game presents.
Yeah.
And it does get a lot more difficult as the game goes on. Especially towards the end of the game, you have to really think about, I only have, these basic mechanics, but how do I pass these very difficult enemies?
Yes.
So I would say it seems very easy in the beginning, but it does get more complicated as you play, and I think the developer is really smart since they went with basic mechanics to really challenge you as the game goes on.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to talk about, the only thing I don't like from the game is the story.
Yeah.
The story, the beginning, they don't tell you why Pina was there and like what she is looking for or who she is looking for.
Sure.
And wait until I remember very the end of the game and start telling her story.
Right.
Yeah, that she's looking for her father.
Yeah, I will say I agree with Yajing 100%. The story's the weakest part of the game. I actually don't feel like I ever got to know Kina. Kina's saving people throughout the game, these kind of lost souls, and you're kind of understanding this event that happened that made them go into this spirit realm, and you really learn a lot about these other characters that she's saving. But to Yajing's point, you learn nothing about Kina until the very end. And yeah, even then you don't learn a ton about her. I was confused for a while if she was a ghost herself, because you don't really get a ton of exposition on her. You see this like little version of her, like when she's a little girl, and then you're wondering why she's seeing that in the spirit realm, but it's never fully fleshed out. Kina's story.
Also, they don't mention the little friends she's keep collecting. Who are they? What they for? Why she needs to collect them? You know, there's no such clue to us.
Yeah.
And also, the end turns out is the monster.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, you realize why you're collecting all these cute little adorable rot creatures.
Yeah.
But there's really no incentive while you're playing the game outside of maybe trophy hunting to collect them.
Yes, and also because it's one of the missions request us to collecting them, and the beginning until we find out at the end, we always think these friends what we are collecting is helping us to move the stuff. They can become bigger when they need to destroy something, and I thought it's the only another tool to us or skill to us,
Sure.
But turns out, the story is kind of confused to me at the end. It's a monster, and somehow the monster, correct me if I'm wrong, the monster had a fight with her father.
Yeah.
And become a evil monster, devil monster.
Right. Yeah, her father tried to kill it. So her father turns out to not actually be that great in the end. And yeah, it's kind of, I would like to have seen the story done better, and it's surprising to me that the story is the weakest part, coming from a studio that makes stories and kind of animated stories. But with that said, it's a beautiful game. It plays well. I would say my only gripe with the game outside of its story is, I'm really excited about this game, and I think Ember Labs did a really good job with it, but I can tell it's their first game because it seems like there's some animations missing. I know this is an independent game, so I don't want to, be too harsh on it, but right now we're playing another PlayStation 5 game from a really well-known Sony studio, and everything moves if you touch it. Every leaf, every blade of grass. there's an animation for it if you bump into it. In this game, there's definitely some animations missing. Some of the foliage is just kind of static. Whether you swing at it with your staff and touch it, it's just going to stay still. And things like that. I feel like there's just been some animations missing in the game. And, again, I totally want to give credit where credit's due. Ember Lab made a beautiful, insanely good looking, animated game. And it's fun to play. I had a great time with it. Just the story was a little lacking. And some animations.
Yeah, but they do have an update coming up.
Yeah, by the time this is released, there will be kind of a 1-year update where there's...
To this game.
Yeah, a lot of extra stuff. More hats for the rot.
Yeah, because all the rots kind of look the same thing to me. So the only difference you can make them is the different hat they wear on the head. And pretty cute.
Yeah, very cute. But I will say, it also isn't a great reward. A lot of times you do these challenges, and the reward for these really difficult fights or kind of time attack fights is a new hat for a rod. You're like, okay, I just spent 20 minutes trying to do this, and once I did it, all I got was a hat that I now have to buy in the in-game store with the in-game currency. So it was a little disappointing, but it's cute.
I was just like, that's it, that's all we got, because the enemy was so difficult to beat it, and that's all we got. It's kind of a little disappointed,
And then I guess the final thing I want to touch on is just the sound. What do you think about the sound of the game?
Very, I can tell the music they grabbed from very traditional Japanese music. And because also in the game you can see the buildings, they are very old traditional.
Yeah, like Japanese buildings. Japanese
you
style,
can you can see the shadow from them. So at the beginning it's pretty like refresh. Like I like to listen it, but very soon if you pause it, you don't play, and you still keep the game on, kind of annoying.
Yeah, I will say for the sound, I think the voice acting was phenomenal. I think they did a really good job with hiring actors that knew how to really act in these roles. So yeah, I think there it's great. I can also remember some really great musical scores from the game. Moment to moment gameplay, sometimes there was no music at all. So there were moments like that. But I will say I enjoyed the music when it was there. Sometimes it was a little repetitive, like Yajing said. But some moments were absolutely incredibly well put together. Kind of like you're watching a movie, and again, the game really looks like an animated movie.
Really.
So it kind of blows you away while you're playing it sometimes.
Yeah, we always just like I remember beginning of the game we were playing, just like wow to everywhere. Yeah. But later we get used to it of the graphic. It's kind of used to it.
Yeah. All right. I think with that, we're ready to review this. So, out of 5 stars, what would you rate Kina Bridge of Spirits?
I want to give 4.7.
Okay. I would give this game a 4.8. I do think it's a phenomenal game. Very close to perfect, especially for a first game. If they made more games, let us know in the comments below. But very good. I think you heard from us, there's some room for improvement. And yeah, that's a 4.75 out of 5 stars from us. But we want to hear what you think. Have you played Kina Bridge of Spirits? If so, what platform did you play it on? Was it PS4, PS5, somewhere else? I haven't played it anywhere else.
Besides 5,
Yeah.
Let us know how you think about the game. The story, do you agree with us? And can't wait to hear something from you.
Definitely. And yeah, if you liked the video and you stuck around this long, thank you. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and yeah, look forward to another video from South Korea at the end of the week here this week. We look forward to seeing you, and we really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, we will see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.